Becoming Elizabeth has been a mixed bag when it comes to historical accuracy, with the timeline being all over the place and people featured who shouldn't be there or in the position they're in. But one of the main oddities for me is the omission of people who had key roles in the events featured or whose inclusion would have added even more drama. Stay tuned while I, historian and author Claire Ridgway, take you through a few of them. As we have a week's delay until episode 7 of Becoming Elizabeth, I thought that this week I'd look at some of the historical people that have been cut out of the series. First, we have John Ashley, or Astley, Catherine Ashley's husband. He'd married Cat in 1545 and, like his wife, served in Elizabeth's household until he was dismissed in January 1549 at the fall of Thomas Seymour. John was imprisoned in the Fleet for a time due to his alleged involvement in Seymour's plans to marry Elizabeth. We know from Cat's confession in 1549 that John had warned her about the Seymour and Elizabeth situation, and he had no involvement in what went on. Cat said her husband hath divers times given this examinate warning to take heed, for he did fear that the Lady Elizabeth did bear some affection to my Lord Admiral. She seemed to be well pleased therewith, and sometimes she would blush when he was spoken of. John did not approve of Cat's matchmaking, but he still ended up a prisoner. Fortunately, both Cat and John were eventually released and reinstated to Elizabeth's household. Thomas Parry is another member of Elizabeth's household missing from the series. As Elizabeth's cofferer, as historian Jonathan Hughes notes, he was Elizabeth's principal business manager, helping her to manage the properties that she'd inherited from her father and helping her to add to her portfolio too. He was a key member of her household, and he was arrested and interrogated in January 1549, and his wife Anne kept an eye on. Cat was furious with Parry for being the one to break first and give the Crown the information about Elizabeth and Seymour, calling him a false wretch for doing so. He stated that Cat had told him how Thomas Seymour loved Elizabeth, how Catherine Parr had been jealous of him and Elizabeth, and how she found them in an embrace. It was pointless Cat holding anything back after he'd confessed. Elizabeth was also furious with her cofferer, but nothing Parry or Cat said was proof of any wrongdoing on Elizabeth's part, and Elizabeth was safe. She reinstated Parry later that year, and he served her loyally for the rest of his life. Another omission is Anne Stanhope, wife of Edward Seymour, Lord Protector. Although Anne had served in Catherine Parr's privy chamber when Catherine was queen and shared her reformed faith, martyrologist John Fox writes of how the two women fell out after Catherine married Anne's brother-in-law, Thomas Seymour. The two women argued also over their status, with Anne feeling that as the wife of the Lord Protector, she took precedence over the Dowager Queen. There was discord between the two couples, and Fox goes as far as saying that Anne wrought Thomas Seymour's death. Anne did, however, take in her niece, the infant Mary Seymour, Catherine and Thomas's daughter, for a time following Thomas's execution, before little Mary went to Catherine Brandon, Duchess of Suffolk's household. Still another omission is William Paget, 1st Baron Paget, who, after Henry VIII's death, helped Edward Seymour take over the government as Lord Protector in return for acting as his chief advisor, although he became frustrated as the Lord Protector listened to him less and less. I'll give you a link to my video on Paget, a diplomat and administrator who served 4 Tudor monarchs. The biggest omission, though, has to be Thomas Cranmer, Archbishop of Canterbury. I find it so strange that this man who shaped the English Reformation in Edward VI's reign and who worked closely with Edward Seymour, John Dudley and the King could be missed out. He presided over the boy king's coronation, He organised the visitations of churches in the kingdom. He invited European reformers to England, and he was behind the Book of Common Prayer, which replaced the traditional Latin liturgy with an English one. It was a hugely important publication, and the book used in Anglican services worldwide today descends from that very book. Its use also sparked off the Prayer Book Rebellion of 1549. Cranmer was a leader of the English Reformation and a key advisor to the king and government, so it astounds me that he could be missed out like this. It's bizarre. I'll give you a link to my video 13 Things You Probably Didn't Know About Thomas Cranmer. Now, I haven't covered all those missed in the series, but those are the ones whose absence really stood out to me. Have you got others you'd like to add? Please do comment below if you have. Take care and I'll see you soon. Oh, and by the way, if I look rather pink and sweaty, it's because it's the hottest day of the year here in Spain and I am melting. Take care, see you soon.